I'm in a mentoring relationship with another CEO, and he is a controller. This controller is engaged and loyal, but he's not necessarily the best accountant. His controller is behind on his work, he's not getting the job done, but he's overall a good guy and he seems to be a plus for the culture. What does my mentor do? He's already confronted this controller about the inefficiency of his productivity, and he's already found another controller to kind of step in and take over the role. But he'd like to keep this original controller because, like I said, he's already a plus for the culture. Now, 3 weeks prior to realizing that his controller might not be the right fit for the role, this CEO mentor of mine had a handful of salespeople who he essentially had to let go because they weren't doing their job as well. And he had realized that was a really expensive move because now he's got to rehire and retrain a bunch of new salespeople. My mentor feels like the only options are either to fire him or to somehow demote him, but somehow preserve his dignity. Clearly with the salespeople, it didn't work out. With the salespeople, he just played hardball. He just said straight up, this is what I need you to be doing, and if you can't do it, then there's not going to be a future here, regardless of whether or not they were a culture fit at the company. But with the controller, he wants to do a little bit more to preserve his dignity. And he told me that he's going to try to be vulnerable with him, and I thought that was really fascinating. He told me that he's going to share his concerns via nonviolent communication. If you've never done nonviolent communication before, it's really fascinating. It essentially is a form of communication where you go through a system of saying your observations, your feelings, your needs, and requests. The observation was the accounting work was not getting done in the time that it needed to get done. The feeling was anxiety and frustration. The need was to have a company culture that not only worked well together, but got their work done in a timely manner. His request was, would the controller be open to a new role? The result? The controller didn't quit. The controller wasn't fired. He actually jumped into this new role with dignity, and it worked out really well. In fact, he even helped bring on the new controller and get him into this new role. Because what this executive mentor of mine did, the CEO, he essentially preserved his dignity. He was vulnerable with him. He shared with him his feelings and what was going on, and the controller reciprocated and shared what was going on in his world, ultimately making an even stronger work environment and creating an avenue for this previous controller to step into a different role that he could be productive and still be a plus for the culture.